الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن المجيد إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون وقال تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وأزواجه أجمعين أما بعد. All the praises and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sustainer of the universe, and blessing on all the Anbiya Karam who passed before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and khususan blessing to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessing on him, on his wife, on her children, companions, all the righteous ulama who passed in the past, all the righteous people who passed in the past who are among us who are going to come. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of them and protect all the righteous ulama as well, inshallah. Ameen. Today we know we are in the month of Jumad al-Awwal, or we do call it Jumad al-Ula as well. So today, inshallah, I'm going to talk about that one. What's the significance of this month and what happened during this month? So, inshallah, that's the main topic I'm going to talk on. So this is, first of all, 5th month in the Islamic calendar. And these months were given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people may doubt that this is because Umar ibn al-Khattab, we started this one in Hijrah, probably 638 around that time, and then this Islamic calendar started from there. This is mentioned in the Quran actually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about majority of these months in the Quran, and these were established by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's just the thing when it comes to the point when from the calculation standpoint and whatnot, and we follow Julian, Gregorian, or Georgian calendar, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to the time in Islamic, from Islamic perspective, Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was the first one. He said, let's start using the Islamic calendar instead of these calendars. And that was back in 638 AD. And the name Hijrah came up by the consultation from the Sahaba Kiram, other Sahaba Kiram. So this was not just one single voice of Umar radiallahu anhu, but this was the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to utilize the Umar and bring the consensus for the Ummah. And today, alhamdulillah, we start calling ourselves, we are in this Hijrah, this calendar or whatnot. So what is the month? So we'll talk about significance of the month of Jumad al-Awwal or Jumad al-Ula, we call it. Jamaat. What does Jamaat stands for? What does this word stands for? It means arid, dry, or rainless month or something. So it's like a dry month, they call it, in a way that there's less of a rains and all those. But there are a lot of important things happen during this month. Let's focus on that one. What are some of the great events happen? For example, we know there was the battle of Murqat al-Muta, or it's also known as the Ghazwa al-Muta. So what is the difference between a Ghazwa? When Prophet Muhammad is still hayat, he's still there, but he did not participate in one of those expeditions or on battle or whatnot, but he rather sent someone, nominated someone from his Sahaba Karam to go and fight. That's called the Ghazwa. So And so this is one of those Marakat, where he nominated actually Hazrat Zayd. And there's a hadith on that one too, or in say Bukhari and Muslim. Then it says, and he chose for this battle, he chose the Hazrat Zayd radiallahu anhu, and he said, if Zayd ibn Harith, something happened to him, or if he got wounded, it's more or less mafhum is, if he got wounded, then let Jafar ibn Abi Talib take over it. But if Jafar, if something happened to Jafar radiallahu anhu, then in that case, let Abdullah ibn Rawah succeed him. So this is like, so he planned it. He said this is how you need to go and lead it. And this is the tartib of this is the tartib Rasulullah did for the Ghazawat. And Ashab Karam, they don't question that. They follow the leaders. They follow the leader who were. You can think of, there were other Sahaba Karam as well. You have heard they have a strong status in that one. Why Rasulullah chose that? There is a reason for that one. Rasul and his Rabb knows what was the reason for that. But this is the work plan. But anyway, so this was one of the great events happened during this month. Another important, significant thing happened was the marriage of Rasulullah with Hadith Khatija radiallahu anha. And that was the first marriage of Rasulullah. He was of age of 25, and Khatija was age of 40. And we know there's a long story you have heard that when he went for Tijara, so he was looking, she was the lady, obviously she cannot go, she was looking for some honest person. So someone recommended that Muhammad, he's the one in Makkah, so you can choose him and send for the Tijara. He'll be the best one among all of us. And he was young. It's hard, even during nowadays, if you think about it, if you have to look for your viceroy or look for someone who can go and sell your stuff, you have to look for the most wisest, probably. So many things you look into. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designed this way. That she trusts Muhammad among all of those senior traders among them. Look about that. I mean, there were so many of well-known figures there. But she chose Muhammad to go. And we know the story when he went and the way he sold the stuff over there. It went away really fast. And the honesty he showed over there. When it was coming to the dry dates and the wet dates, how he split them apart and he said this is a different price for this one versus this price. And so people who have not seen these kind of tajara, so honesty. It's such an honesty in that person. So they fell in love with this person. And they said, when he came back, these all stories came to Hazrat Khatija as well. That this is how he did, and he's one of the most honest. And she was inspired. So as it comes in narration that she talked to one of her confidant, Nafisa, and said, Nafisa, I want to marry this Muhammad. At that time, he has not gotten the prophecy. Prophecy obviously got later on in the day. But he was already Sadiq Amin. He was trustworthy. Even his own enemies used to keep, the most precious thing in his possession. Because I think this is the most safest place. When you have the chance of robbery or whatnot, you look for the safest place. Subhanallah. You are fighting with me. I'm not aligned with your beliefs, whatnot, and still I believe you that you are the most safest person on face of this earth, at least in that area. And I said, keep my possession with you. And we know when he left from, you were forced to move from Makkah to Medina. He has so many of those treasures still with him. Amana. So what he did was, just to do that, he just let Ali sleep and just distribute that one before you come. And guess what? His enemies were after him to kill him. Na'udhu. So this is the honesty. So there's a lesson for us. We should look for this one and say, look in ourselves. Are we follow Rasulullah? Can we come even closer to something? Not even exactly 100%. Can we come closer to that? People will trust you, even though they don't like you or whatever your beliefs are, but still they trust you. They say this is the most honest. And that reminds me of one of the great statement from current time, as you have seen, there's one of the anchor, they were talking and they were debating about the politics and other whatnot, and that was during the time when President Trump, he imposed the ban on Muslims coming from Muslim countries whatnot. So the person was saying, look at this, he's not Muslim. He was saying, if you are the lucky one, if one of your neighbor, you come into a neighborhood where you have Muslims living as your neighbor. This is one of the most safest you can think of it. You feel, I mean, you don't have to have a fear for your kids. You can rest assured they'll be in a safe place. They'll hang out with the right people, and this is probably one of the good thing, Hussein, this is which does not believe what your beliefs are. So this is how people should be looking up to us. If they are looking up to us, we should. So it means they are setting our bar high. So we need to act as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the way they think we are as a Muslim, alhamdulillah, helpers, being helper, and help the poor, not only them, but be honest and all those things. So during the time of Rasulullah sallam, when he got, so this is one of the months when Hazrat Khadija and both got married. And we know what's the status of Khadija radiallahu anha in the Islamic history. In the life of Rasulullah sallam, majority of kids or children of Rasulullah sallam was born out of Khadija radiallahu anha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with her. And there are other incidents happen. It's a shortage of time. I'm not going to go too much of detail. It itself, it could be a whole topic. We can talk. Hazrat Jafar radiallahu anhu, he got the Shahada in the same month, martyrdom in the same month. And it was obviously it's in the Muslim army. They were fighting with Byzantines at Muta, same area, same battle which Razwa I talked about. So Hazrat Zayd martyred first. Then it was Hazrat Jafar who martyred. And he went deep into enemies and fought bravely. Jafar. There is a famous line spoken by Hazrat Jafar during the battle. He said, "How wonderful is paradise as it draws near. How pleasant and cool is its drink. Punishment for the Byzantine is not far away. In this war, both of the arms of Hazrat Jafar were cut off and finally he died." So he kept fighting. His both arms fell off and then he died after that. And soldiers came back from the battle and they are telling the horrific fight of Jafar radiallahu anhu. He said, one of them said he had seen 90 wounds in the body of Jafar radiallahu anhu. After that far, he kept fighting. Another one said, "I've seen him when his right arm cut off." Another said, "I have seen him when his left hand been cut off. He had fallen over the ground and his wound bled." Prophet Muhammad said in response to that, he said, "Jibreel alayhi salam has told me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted Jafar two wings to fly within the paradise." SubhanAllah, what's the status he got? This has also happened during the same month. Birth of Zainab radiallahu anha. After Hazrat Imam Hussein, it was Zainab, the third child who was born to Fatima radiallahu anha. Her honorable life is well known to all, and and what she faced, the challenges, and all those, that's up to great effect. We know. I mean, there's no time to go in detail, but there's a great history we need to learn. She also faced the greatest disaster when she lost Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu. She was there in her life, and her tomb is in Egypt. So death of Fatima Zahra, that happened during the same month. So why I thought about bringing this one on? We as a Muslim, we talk, we learn so many things, but sometimes we don't ponder on our own history of Muslims. So I thought it's a good reflection, foremost for myself and for all of us, but after that as well, that let's look into those events or those incidents that happened in the history of Islam. Islam did not came to us very easily. People have given a lot of sacrifices, and we should be thankful. We should be praying for them that this is the tawfiq of Allah anyway. But we should be thankful to all of those who we know that as a part of history that what they contributed. So death of Fatima the Zahra, and Fatima Zahra is also known as the marvelous lady. She died in the same month and was buried by Hazrat Ali on 13th of Jumada al-Awwal. And obviously she died due to the illness after 6 months passing away of Rasulullah. So she was the most beloved daughter of Rasulullah. And we know that when Rasulullah passing away and how she was upset about that one, that okay, so obviously upset in the sense that obviously it's not easy to lose your loved one, but their iman was very strong. They know that Rasulullah is going back to unite with the Rock, going back to the Rock. Everyone, kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut, everyone has to die. So they know the principle, but again, losing loved one is always tough. And she was in that all, obviously, she felt after that, and Rasulullah said, you're the first one to come and meet me after that. And definitely that was it. After 6 months, she passed away. And she has a lot, and obviously there's a long story that how she was feeling and how she used to cry, she used to make dua and all those things. Sufi scholar Muzaffar Ozek writes on her death that after our master, after Rasulullah has honored the world of the hereafter, Fatima would neither eat nor drink, and she forgot all laughter and joy. She had an apparent built for her in which she had an apartment built for her in which she stayed by night and day, weeping her heart out for her beloved father. And she died in the same. Because of that, she got more ill and and she passed away. But this was the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Rasulullah already gave the news, the good news actually. You'll be the first one to come in after me. You'll be the coming to me. Then Zainul Abidin. Zainul Abidin birth happened in the same month, and he was the sole male member of the Imam Hussein who survived the Karbala event. He is also known as the son of best two. He was respected among his companions. He was very pious. According to Abu Hamza, during the month of Ramadan, he used to be in prayers for the whole of the night. He was poisoned at the end. That's how he died. After his death, it is said that people came to know that it was Zainul Abidin who used to distribute the food to people at night by covering his face. Look at the gesture. You're giving something good, but you want to hide your identity as well, that people should not think otherwise, whatever. So he could not be recognized. He don't want recognition, because this was khalasatan for the rada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is a lesson for us. Whatever we need to do, as it says, you give charity in hiding and open, whatever, it should be khalasatan, it should be purely for the rada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It should not be ra'a in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us from that. I mean, so he had a tremendous life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, pleased with all of the one I just mentioned and the one which I was not able to mention because of shortness of time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this the blessed month for all of those Muslimin, all of those Sahaba Karam, all of those righteous people who passed, who have done such a great thing for Islam and for the Rada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Be pleased with all the personalities who were born or who were died in the month of Jumada al-Awwal. Ameen. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم سائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله استعينوا واستغفروا ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له واشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله ارسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعه من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصيهما فانه لا يضر الا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وسلم المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر وأشهدهم في أمر الله عمر وأصدقهم هي عثمان وهداهم علي وفاطمة سيد نساء أهل الجنة وحسن وحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة وحمزة أسد الله وأسد رسوله. اللهم اغفر للعباس بلد المغفرة زاهدة وباطنة ولا أرواح الجنة. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملت الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين واحمي حوزة الإسلام يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك محمدين. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. قال إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي. ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. آمين. عباد الله الله في أصحابي لا تتخذهم غرضا من بعدكم من أحبهم فبحب أحبهم ومن أبغضهم فبغض أبغضهم وخير أمتي قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. وقيموا الصلاة.